Globe Telecom, IN.C. New ship deployed to finish local submarine cable installation. Eastern Communications, with partners Globe Telecom Inc. and InfiniVAN, recently deployed a new cable-laying ship to finish the construction of the Philippine Domestic Submarine Cable Network, PDSCN, which is slated for completion by April. In a statement on Wednesday, the telecommunication solutions provider said the ship named Subaru would install 9 segments of the cable project.
The first 15 segments were already laid as of December. The remaining sites include those in Calatrava, Romblon, Pasacao, Camarines Sur, Bulan, Sorsogon, Palanas, Masbate, Calbayog, Samar, Mactan, Cebu, Maasan, Leyte, Claver, Surigao del Norte, Quinoguitan, Misamis Oriental, Camiguin, Zamboanga City, Zamboanga del Norte, and Liloy and Dipalig in Zamboanga del Sur.
Upon the completion of PDSCN, we aim to see more Filipino families and businesses better connected this year. Once the fiber cables are operational, we can expect more resilient and reliable connectivity to serve the needs of the whole country, Eastern Communications PDSCN consultant Albert Tuason said. The cable-laying activities started in Subic Bay in July last year. The 2,500-kilometer domestic subsea cable has a total of 33 landing points. Digital adoption. The project is expected to deliver connectivity crucial to the country's recovery from the pandemic, as it will support government, education, business and even recreational needs for reliable communication facilities. Eastern Communications said the project was in line with the increasing digital adoption among Filipinos. Last year, the broadband service provider expanded to Bacolod City and Dumaguete City in Negros, and in Legazpi City, Naga City and Sorsogon City in Bicol. The telco earmarked P3 billion worth of capital expenditures last year to expand its footprint in the regions. Among its services are Internet Direct services, which provide high-speed business-grade connectivity, and Eastern Cloud for its cloud services. It also has a menu of cybersecurity solutions backed by global technology partners like Cisco and Fortinet. INQ.
Rcbc News. Rcbc. Normalization of economic activities, lower taxes to fuel GDP.
The continued normalization of the Philippine economy, along with the impact of lower individual income tax, reform measures and demographic dividends, among others, are expected to fuel domestic growth this year.
In a report on Thursday, Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation (RCBC) chief economist Michael Ricafort said the economy continues to have bright spots, such as the resilient overseas Filipino workers (OFW) remittances, exports, near record low unemployment rate and growth of the manufacturing sector. The country's gross domestic product (GDP) slowed in the last quarter of 2022 to 7.2% from the previous 3 months' 7.6% amid the impact of elevated inflation.
The full-year average economic growth reached 7.6%, exceeding the government's 6.5 to 7.5% assumption. Philippine GDP growth estimate for 2023 could normalize to around 6 to 7% in 2023 and beyond, with the stabilization of the GDP base denominator, with no more lockdowns in 2022, he said. The government's 2023 GDP assumption has been lowered to between 6 to 7% from 6.5 to 8% given the impact of external developments, such as the projected recession of the United States economy. Ricafort cited several factors expected to drive economic expansion this year, including demographic dividend, which is the result of having a large number of young and working-aged population.
He said gains from demographic dividend boost domestic growth since it supports continued resilience of consumer spending, which accounts for at least 75% of the economy. PNA.
Globe News. Starting February, you can now use Gcash to pay for transport, delivery services. Leading mobile wallet Gcash gives Grab users access to the easiest, most convenient and secure cashless transactions. Beginning next month, Gcash will be officially available as a direct mode of payment on the Grab platform, enabling users to avoid transfer fees which go as high as P50. With this partnership, we once again realize our commitment to make the lives of Filipinos better each day by delivering a more convenient, secure, and cost-efficient way to pay for their rides and food and grocery deliveries, said Martha Sazon, Gcash president and CEO. For her part, Grab Philippines country head Grace Vera Cruz said that, with more Filipinos transacting via cashless means, we are accelerating our prospects of digital transformation. Grab is Southeast Asia's leading super app for ride-hailing, food delivery, and on-demand grocery delivery. It touts strong foothold in markets like the Philippines, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Vietnam. FB San Miguel Food and Beverage, IN. Circa News. CA thumbs down SMC unit's TRO plea versus ERC order. The Court of Appeals, CA, has denied the petition filed by San Miguel Corp. to nullify the Energy Regulatory Commission's order rejecting the power rate hike sought by its power subsidiaries and Manila Electric Company, Meralco.
In a resolution dated January 13 but received by the Office of the Solicitor General on January 26, the CA ruled that Spnec failed to prove its right to a restraining order.
The CA said the grant of SMEC's TRO would not serve its purpose, since it will have the effect, not of maintaining the contract price, but of setting aside the assailed order itself, thereby rendering the main case, the petition for certiorari, moot. The appellate court said ERC's denial of SMEC's motion for price adjustment already preserves the status quo, which is the contract price in Spnec and Meralco's PSA. The CA said that if SMEC's petition is granted, the writ of injunction will give Spnec the unrestricted power to terminate, at its own will, the power supply agreement to the detriment of public consumers. The CA also cited the need for an extensive determination of the merits of SMEC's case.
The CA, on the other hand, granted SMEC's motion that the subject case be consolidated with another case with similar facts filed by South Premier Power Corp. SPPC pending before the 13th Division.
SPPC was able to get a 60-day TRO from the 13th Division against the ERC order. Following the issuance of the TRO, SPPC terminated its 2019 PSA with Meralco effective December 7, 2022. FGEN First General Corporation News. The Climate Change Commission, CCC, and clean energy provider First General Corp. agreed to work together in helping communities and local government units, LGUs, prepare climate change adaptation and mitigation plans and strategies.
CCC Secretary Robert E. A. Boria and First General President Francis Giles B. Puno recently signed a memorandum of agreement that aims to strengthen climate adaptation and mitigation initiatives of First Gen's partner communities and LGUs, and promote their science and evidence. Our mission of forging collaborative pathways simply means that we cannot do it alone. Signing an agreement with the CCC is completely aligned with what our company is trying to do in addressing an important challenge that's ahead of us: climate change, Puno said during the MOA signing. Under the MOA, both parties agreed on a number of joint commitments, including the training of key stakeholders using CC's Communities for Resilience core modules.
Core modules include background on national and international climate change policies and frameworks. Both parties also committed to enhance the scope of FirstGen's flagship climate change information, education and communication (IEC) program, called Create for the Climate (CFTC), by adding to the first general IEC program a training component on localized climate risk profiling and climate change adaptation and mitigation. Vivant Corp News. Garcia Ascanio family led Vivant to launch first solar-powered commercial building in Cebu. A subsidiary of Cebu-based Vivant Corp. has teamed up with property developer JEG Development to launch the first solar-powered commercial building in Cebu. The 22-story JEG tower at 1 Acacia is powered by the 37-kilowatt peak rooftop solar installation from Vivant's Core Energy Inc.
The JEG Tower grid-tied solar project is expected to produce 77 megawatt-hours of energy annually while avoiding 30 metric tons of carbon dioxide emission each year.
Core Energy, as the platform through which Vivant supports large power consumers, recognizes JEG's aspiration to be an industry leader that will help transform Cebu through sustainable real estate development. We aim to support the realization of this aspiration by delivering world-class energy solutions to JEG, Core Energy President Al Douglas Villaus. The JEG Tower Solar Project is the fifth operating distributed solar project of Core Energy in Cebu.
The building is fueled by a 37 kWp grid-tied solar PV system designed to offset the electricity consumed from the grid by converting the available solar energy to serve daytime energy demand.
The solar panels power the ground floor up to the 6th floor common area of the tower. Secb Security Bank Corporation News. Bullish. GSIS jacks up stake in Security Bank by 51% since Wick Velozo's takeover.
The state pension fund is betting big on Security Bank of billionaire Frederick Dye. Government Service Insurance System (GSIS) has increased its stake by 51% in the country's 10th biggest lender after amassing a total of 14.335 million SECB shares from June to December 2022. SECB traded between P78 and P97 during the period. GSIS started its aggressive accumulation in SECB with the election of veteran investment banker Arnolfo Wick Velozo as president and general manager. GSIS stake is now pegged at 5.6%, which enabled it to surpass Social Security system, with 5.01%, as the third biggest investor in SECB with 5.6%. SPNEC New Energy Corporation News. Techpreneur Leandro Levisti's Solar Philippines power projects bared plans to take in more strategic investors following its recent transaction with the Ayala Group's energy subsidiary.
Solar is looking to issue P2.7 billion worth of shares through a private placement to complete its asset for share swap deal with subsidiary SP New Energy Corporation, SPNEC. In a disclosure to the Philippine Stock Exchange, Solar Power said the acquisition by ACEN Corporation, ACEN, of a 5% stake in Spnec as partial prepayment under a loan agreement between ACEN and SP is just the start of plans to widen Spnec's investor base.
This is among several private placements that Solar Philippines has been planning, to broaden SP New Energy Corp. SPNEC's shareholder base and enable its asset for share swap, Spnec said in a regulatory filing.
Solar Philippines on January 25 executed definitive agreements with ACEN to issue 500 million shares of Spnec as prepayment for part of a loan principal and payment of interest, other fees, and in consideration of ACEN releasing its pledge over shares owned by Solar Philippines in Spnec. Solar Philippines affiliate Provincia Investments Corp. and ACEN signed on June 25, 2021 an omnibus loan and security agreement for a P1 billion loan with a repayment date of July 2, 2026, secured by a pledge over shares owned by Solar Philippines in Spnec.
As part of its share swap, Spnec will issue 24.37 billion shares in exchange for projects of Solar Philippines, in addition to its existing 10 billion shares.
This will result in Spnec having 34.37 billion shares outstanding, which would require the public to own at least 6.87 billion shares to achieve a public float of at least 20%. Spnec said it would need to increase its public float by at least another 2.12 billion shares, assuming that 4.75 billion shares will be held by the public after the ACEN transaction. Solar Philippines previously disclosed that it was exploring various options to support its project developments, including selling equity to partners at Spnec. Mwide News. Mwide unit bags 3 more P. Hurst Park Homes projects. Listed infrastructure company Mwide Construction Corp's precast unit has bagged 3 new supply and build contracts with residential developer P. Hurst Park Homes, Inc., PPHI, a company official announced on Thursday. The precast business unit will supply precast materials for housing projects in 3 new PPHI locations: Naic, Cavite, Baliwag, Bulacan, and Tayabas, Quezon. The challenge in addressing the country's housing backlog is not in the supply but the speed in which we can build, Marcus Hennig, Executive Vice President for Mwide's Precast and Construction Solutions, said in an emailed statement. Our proprietary precast technology allows us to deliver cost-effective units with greater speed and efficiency than conventional methods, he added. The company said its precast business continues to expand its order book by getting more projects in the horizontal housing segment.
The company now has 11 projects with PPHI and is building a total of about 19,000 units for these sites across Luzon, Mwide said.
As of end December 2022, the total number of houses turned over by the precast unit has reached more than 9,000 since it started its partnership with PPHI in 2018, it added. Mwide intends to build an on-site plant for faster turnover. The company innovates through proprietary engineering technologies like precast, which enables quicker turnaround times, requires less manual labor during construction, and lowers long-term project costs, Mwide said.
Mwide's main precast plant is located in Taytay, Rizal. It can produce up to 168,000 cubic meters of precast units per year.
Meralco Manila Electric Company News. Meralco unit installs 2 more solar rooftops. Manila Electric Company, Meralco, said on Thursday that its renewable energy unit has turned over solar rooftop projects to the Orchard Golf and Country Club and BioStar Nutri Products, Inc.
In a media release, Spectrum, Inc. Spectrum said it installed the Orchard's solar panels, which have a combined capacity of 99.9 kilowatt peak kWp, at the Country Club's facility in Dasmariñas, Cavite. The power source began operating early last year.
Since its completion, the Orchard's solar rooftop has generated more than 125,000 kilowatt-hours (kWh) of clean energy, equivalent to saving around 10,000 kilowatt-hours in monthly consumption. In energy costs, the savings amounted to $785,000 last year, Spectrum said. With the project, the Orchard's carbon footprint was cut by about 89 tons, which is equivalent to planting 4,100 trees or reducing approximately 355,000 kilometers in vehicle travel per year. Meanwhile, the project with BioStar, which distributes and manufactures animal health products, involves a 24.96 kWp rooftop facility at the company's poultry farm in San Pablo City, Laguna. BioStar's solar rooftop was energized in April 2022 and has so far generated about 21,520 kilowatt-hours, resulting in savings of nearly $167,000.
With the project, the company was able to cut its carbon footprint by 15.33 tons, or the equivalent of planting at least 700 trees or reducing yearly vehicle travel by 61,054 kilometers. Meralco's controlling stakeholder, Beacon Electric Asset Holdings, Inc., is partly owned by PLDT Inc. Hastings Holdings, Inc., a unit of PLDT Beneficial Trust Fund subsidiary MediaQuest Holdings, Inc., has an interest in Businessworld through the Philippine Star Group, which it controls.